For the past 5 years, a new set of Butler County detectives have been working on a cold case, a murder from the 1970s. They're hoping fresh eyes could lead to new tips and maybe bring them a big break that they've been waiting for. Jessica Schmidt looks into the murder of 21-year-old Georg Ann Reiter in tonight's story from the Crime Vault.
Was it an attack by a stranger, an act of jealous rage, or simply an attempted robbery? The motive for Georg Ann Reiter's September 9th, 1970 murder remains unknown.
That's the frustrating part, that it's just been so long. It's been over 50 years.
What detectives were told is Georg Ann and a female friend, Melvira, stopped off at a park on State Route 128 in St. Clair Township to talk.
The friend who survived said that someone came up to the window, knocked on the window with the barrel of looked like a small rifle. So they roll the window down, he tells them to get out, he wants the car. At that point, you know, they're pretty frantic. She drops the keys.
The suspect forced the women to walk toward the back of the park.
He just started shooting, shot them both.
Melvira, injured, said the man left, so she found the keys and used their car to flag down help.
That's when the semi-truck driver stopped and helped them and helped load up Georg Ann Reiter into the car, where victim number 2 drives her to the hospital. Truck driver follows.
Georg Ann made it to the hospital, but had already lost her life. Her brother, Georg Reiter, remembers getting the news. He was back at home after serving in the military.
And what got me, I was shot at so many times over there in Korea, and I survived. Come home 1 month, boom, shot in the back, you know. So we know she was trying to get away.
Georg Ann is described by her family as a tomboy, a softball player, and a talented musician.
She liked to play sports, go camping, different things like that, you know. She was great in band. There wasn't an instrument that girl couldn't pick up and start playing.
Georg is the only surviving member of the immediate family. His parents, Joan and George Ann's twin sister, Joanne, died years ago.
My mom and dad, Georg Ann, is buried at St. Stephen's Cemetery, or St. Mary's Cemetery in Hamilton. My sister was cremated, so I took a clay pot, put some of her ashes in there, and buried it with them. So we're all together.
As for the investigation, Detective Dan Turner started reviewing the case alongside Lieutenant Ed Tanner in 2017.
We all have excitement thinking that we could be the ones that are able to pull the evidence together and solve this case for the family.
They dug through the paperwork, listened to cassette tape recordings, and started digitizing the files.
The biggest takeaway that I think we really found was that they did have a witness.
That witness, who has since passed away, said he'd driven by the park right around the time of Georg Ann's murder.
Witness was driving home. He witnessed the car sitting there with the lights on in the direction that everyone said the car was sitting in, and a male, what looked to be wearing a suit, was pacing back and forth by the cars.
Through the years, each team of detectives has narrowed in on differing theories. For Georg, he leans toward the idea of a love triangle involving his sister and 2 other women. He questions whether a man in a jacket was ever really there.
There was a group of girls that played softball together. There was maybe a little bit of an argument before, so there was enough there to maybe say, well, maybe this story was made up, but, we don't know one way or another.
I know the other 2 people involved knows who it is. I just hope they have their guts to come out there and tell me who it was.
Detective Turner and Lieutenant Tanner say they've tried to talk to Melvira again, all these years later, without success.
We went down to Florida and tried to speak with her. She is kind of clammed up on us. Maybe it's because she just don't want to relive the incident.
Now, both Georg Ann's loved ones and detectives are hoping someone out there will finally do the right thing and give them the piece of information they need to close this cold case.
The family just wants justice. They have no idea what happened that night, other than someone that they may or may not trust.
Because all I ask is two questions: who and why. Somebody knows something. I believe somebody knows something, but is afraid to come forward to say anything.
Georg Ann's loved ones say they're frustrated with the case and just want answers, even if no one is prosecuted. At this point, without any DNA evidence, detectives say they're hoping for a deathbed confession. As for Melvira, we, just like investigators, have not been able to get in touch with her, but of course we're open to speaking with her about what happened. Jessica Schmidt, Fox 19 Now.
You can watch all of our Crime Vault stories on our website and our news app. We also have a podcast called Cincinnati's Crime Vault Beyond the Broadcast, available free on all platforms. A new episode dropped today, wrapping up our coverage of Ohio's newest serial killer. We're watching breaking news now for you.